Hello, today I'm going to continue about the lies from the Department of Propaganda about our current financial situation all over the world. In this case, I've been discussing recently just numbers in the United States because the US is supposed to be one of the largest economies in the world, blah, 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 blah. So if you can just extrapolate these lies to every other country in the EU or countries in Asia, etc., this stuff is the kind of madness that is going on by our bankers and politicians. So as you know, in early July, the U.S. job report surprised to the upside because only 155,000, that was the consensus, somewhere around that number, of new jobs are expected to be created. And the report that came out was somewhere close to 195,000 new jobs. So everyone in the government, from congressmen to the president, was lauding the strong signs of economic growth everywhere. But how strong was this growth? Why don't we look at the facts? So even though we had 195,000 new jobs created, we actually, if you dig down into the numbers, you actually see that we lost 230,000 full-time jobs. So what's being created? Well, it doesn't take a genius to figure it out when you look at the statistics. Right now in America, you have 53% of full-time American workers making $30,000 a year or less, which basically is living in poverty if you live in any big city in the US. If you live in San Francisco, Miami, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago, those are poverty wages, I'm telling you, because I lived in big cities in the US. You can't live on $30,000 a year. It doesn't even cover all your expenses for rent, insurance, petrol, and everything else, utilities, electricity. That barely makes it. So you'll be living in poverty at those wages. So 53% of working Americans make $30,000 a year or less. You have, in the 1970s, 1 in 50 Americans were required food stamps to buy food. Today, it went from 1 in 50, just in 30 years, from the 1970s or 40 years, to 1 in 6. The largest employer in the United States is Walmart. You know who the number dos employer is in the United States? It is Kelly Services. What is Kelly Services? They're a temp agency. So the type of new positions that are being created, which the government and bankers want to laud as great economic strength, are part-time menial labor jobs like at fast food restaurants. So, little Jimmy, what do you want to be when you grow up? This is what they have to look forward to. And this is what we call great economic strength and recovery. In fact, no matter what your politicians and bankers tell you, the job situation, employment situation in the United States is so dire and so bad that this is what it's come to. More than a dozen employees at a Florida restaurant, the Barducci's Italian Bistro, were actually let go and fired by a text message. They weren't even given the courtesy of being told in person that they were being let go, even though the restaurant was being shut down. They were merely sent a text saying, "You are fired." Talk about the indignity. I thought like people breaking up in relationships through text messages was bad enough, but now you lose your whole livelihood thanks to technology through a text message. That is just insanity at its worst. Okay, until next time, thanks for watching, and take care, and always think.